A look back at the history of STL TV. That's next on City Corner. I'm StevePotter, and welcome to City Corner. Well, as you may or may not know, City Corner is produced by STL TV, and we're looking back on their long and illustrious history, if I can put it that way. My guest today is Holman. He's STL TV's video production manager and my boss. Hi, Andre. Welcome.
Hey,
welcome to the program.
You? Thanks, Steve.
We just recently celebrated, STL TV did, 24 years of service.
Yes. It's hard to believe that it's been that long, but yes, it's definitely been that long, and we've had a great time in being able to serve the community and do an outstanding job.
I want you to explain something maybe I find a lot of people don't really understand what we are. The average person sort of thinks we're public access. We're not really, so maybe you could explain that.
Well, most people in the community, they think of cable television, local cable television, as public access. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we wanted to do with STL TV was to try to make sure that people didn't look at us as public access. Typically people think of 2 chairs and a curtain and maybe a couple of plants over the shoulder.
Wait, let me look around.
But that's what they typically expect to see. And public access obviously is for the community to be able to use to produce whatever content that they want to produce for the community. And people don't understand PEG, and PEG is public, education, and government access. So we are the government portion of that, and one of the things that we really wanted to do was to separate ourselves from public access. And one of the things I think that helped us do that was to really try to create a studio that didn't look like public access.
So we have better sets.
Yes, yes. And that was one of the things that I focused on as the video production supervisor at the time, was to really try to look at bringing someone in here who could really help us create an image of local government access channel, of the local government access channel, and that was Miles Vesage, who passed recently. And you know, but Miles was someone who we really could count on to take a studio from like a blank canvas, and just really go at it and say, hey, Andre, I can recommend this, we could do this. But I had to tell him, we're not working with a big budget, you know. This is still local government access, so we don't have the funds to really do everything, but let's take a shot at it and see what we could do.
But we really do a variety of things, and have over the years. When you talk about public access, and I love your analogy about, you know, the 2 chairs and a plant or a table.
Yes.
Not only do we have a better set, but we really do have a wide range of programs. There's everything from, you know, covering the Board of Alderman meetings to more entertainment programs.
One of the things that we realized with producing content for the channel is that we understood that we had to fulfill our mission with the Board of Aldermen. That's actually why we were created. On October 17, 1991, the Board of Aldermen meetings were being held at City Hall, but they were taking place at 10 a.m. in the morning. Most government channels or municipal meetings are taking place in the evenings, where residents can come out and participate and be a part of them. So ours were taking place at 10 a.m., but we wanted to make sure that the residents of the city, at the time, Tom Villa wanted to make sure that the residents of the city could be able to see those meetings. And so they said, well, we need to start taping them from gavel to gavel, and, you know, making them available for the residents to be able to see. And so that really started STL TV, well, at the time, Channel 16 at the time.
Yeah, that's an important thing to do. You know, I guess, you know, not everybody's going to be interested in watching the Board of Aldermen, but I think it's sort of important that it's there.
Yes, because, you know, one of the things that we're finding now is really relevant now. so many people are trying to be engaged in what's going on in the community. From, we're talking about minimum wage, we're talking about the stadium. There's so many hot topics that people need to understand what's going on in the community because they are a part of it. So it's one of those things where I think we've really been able to make a difference in bringing transparency into the homes of the residents of the city of St. Louis, those who have cable television.
So we're celebrating 24 years of doing this, and isn't it true that you've been here the whole 24 years, and didn't you start as an intern?
Yes, that is true. I was at Missouri State University in Springfield, Missouri, and I only had one course I needed to take to complete my bachelor's degree in electronic media and broadcasting, and that was an internship. And I was actually in St. Louis for the summer, and I heard about this internship through Vervis Jones, who was the comptroller at the time. And I basically said, well, I don't have to go back to Springfield. They were allowing me to do it here in St. Louis, and I said, well, let me go and see what I can do. And so I ended up doing the internship here. And
what happened?
I will tell you that, and that's why I feel so good about our internship program. It was a great opportunity for me to be able to get hands-on experience. Carol Lawrence, who was the video production supervisor at the time, she really gave me an opportunity to learn a lot with hands-on experience.
But I'm sure when you started, Andre, you never thought this is going to be my career place.
No, and my wife and I, we joke about it all the time because I told her other things that I wanted to do, and it's weird because you have opportunities to do other things, but your heart kind of pulls you into a different direction, because I felt like I had an opportunity to really be engaged in the community. I'm born and raised here in the city of St. Louis. My parents, my grandparents, so many of my family have been entrenched into this community, and I wanted to be able to tell some of the stories and things that I see that I could see and that other people may not have had a chance to see. And so it was a great opportunity for me to be able to be engaged and tell stories that I think that people need to know about.
And it's a great opportunity for young people today. Internships are so valuable. This is a tough business, media of anything, and to get your foot in the door somewhere and to learn, firsthand, that's a great opportunity for a young person.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I tell the interns when they come in. This can be what you make of it. If you put in the hard work and you really work hard and show some of the full-timers and per-performance employees that you're really a hard worker, there are other opportunities that might come outside of STL TV. But, I think that's one of the things that has really kept me excited about the internship program. Just seeing some of the people who've come through the doors and have really gone on to do some great things, like Lewis Neal, who was really one of my really first interns that I brought in.
I remember Lewis.
Yeah. Lewis Neal, and then Tracy Neal, they're now married. Who would have thought we would have brought those two together like that? But now they're doing some amazing work out there at ESPN. So it's just those types of things that you don't know that will happen, but it's just giving other people opportunities to do some things.
Yeah, I can think of a good example too, and I know about it because I have a little part in a film that just showed at the St. Louis International Film Festival, and the director is based in New York. Her name is Effie De Silva. Yes. And she was an intern here. Yes,
and there she is on the screen with me and some of the other interns. That was actually during the presidential inaugural ball that we actually taped down at City Hall. But Effie is right there next to me, and she is amazing. She is truly amazing.
I'd keep my eye on her if I were you.
Yes. I was, I had a chance to spend some time with her when she had the screening of her movie, the first screening she had.
At the Filmmaker Showcase.
Yes. Yeah. And, I just told her how proud I was of her, and she said, do you know that this idea of this film came to me while I was at STL TV? And I was like, no, I didn't. I had no idea. But, she's very talented. And so it's just amazing the people that we cross paths with that come through here that go and do some outstanding work.
I don't think I mentioned the name of her film. It's Four-Way Stop. And they've got a Facebook page. You should look it up, and maybe it'll be out on DVD one of these days.
Yes, yes. And
Definitely.
she, you know, she shot it here in St. Louis, and the quality of it is great.
Yeah, I can only imagine, Andre, going back 24 years, and you've been here the whole time, that you can't possibly remember everyone that's come and gone. Some people, like, I've been here about 15 years, believe it or not, but you've had countless people maybe come in and do something for a year and move on. I can't imagine how many people have come through these doors in 24 years.
It's hard to remember everyone, but you know, I will tell you that it has been truly a pleasure for me just to have the opportunity to work with these guys. You know, from the production side, the full-time guys, I tell them all the time, they really make this place work. You know, because they are here grinding out, you know, day in and day out, 40 hours a week. You know, Lauren Watt, Ken Roberts, Jerry Berwin, Jerry, who was here. And really helped me when I first got here. You know, those guys have really made a tremendous pledge to support, you know, local government access and really do a good job to help us bring the standard of local government up to a whole nother level.
You know, people like me on camera have a fun little job, but it's those people that make what we do look easy.
Well, you know, you guys are tough sometimes. You're hard to please.
Not me.
You're hard to please.
You mean those other hosts, like Todd Blackstock there?
Todd, well, yeah, Todd is a whole nother.
He's the one on the right. He's been here as long as I have, at least.
Yes,
I think.
I think he came just a little bit before you.
Did he?
But yeah, Todd is another great host that we've had here for quite some time, and he actually won an Emmy, for our first Emmy for Inside Sports. I look back at the old Negro League. You know, he and Tracy Neal and Lewis Neal, they both worked together with Todd.
Do you remember how I started here?
Oh, I have a treat for you later on. I have a treat for you. I'm hoping the guys will have it queued up. But
So this will embarrass me, I'm sure.
no, I think it just shows how you've grown. And
So it is going to embarrass me, I see.
no,
Well, I want to tell you how I ended up here just real quickly. And you were the
Okay.
one that interviewed me first. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
So we're talking about 15 years ago at least. I have to look it up to find out exactly. But I'd never done TV before, really. And I answered an ad in a paper. Charter Cable had a show. You probably know Jackie Poor.
Yes.
She's a producer now
See
at
Here.
HEC TV. Did she work here?
No, See Here was one of the.
See Her, right. They had an ad in the paper, and I went and auditioned, and I did a couple seasons with her, and I'd never heard of STL TV, didn't know a thing about it. Well, it wasn't called STL TV then.
Right.
But I did know about this organization, this group. And she said, I know this TV place, you'd fit in there, I think. And she just gave me your name and number, and I called and came down and interviewed, and the rest is history, I guess.
Wow. Yep. Yeah, and I would think that, I was thinking about this, I think you, Cara Savio, maybe even Todd Blackstock as well. A lot of you guys came from that studio.
Todd Thomas, do I have the name right?
Todd Thomas as well.
Todd Thomas and I were at the same audition at the Charter Studio. That's how I first met Todd, when we were both trying to get a job there before here.
Oh,
so, yeah,
okay.
we go way back.
So it's been a great opportunity to see all of you guys, and I'm glad you stuck around and stayed with us. I want them
After I see this clip, I might not want to stick around. You got me scared now, Andre. We're going to take a break.
All right.
And we've got things to look at, I think, when we come back, so stay with us.
All right.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Our guests today are the president and vice president of the group St. Louis 2004. That's Peter Sortino and Rudy Nickens. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Peter, let me start with you. I think I've heard the word catalyst used to describe St. Louis 2004. Could you maybe expound on that a little bit? Is it a catalyst?
Sure, yes. 2004 was formed in 1996, and it was formed to be a forward-looking organization, not an organization.
Okay, I have two things to say. Number one, I still have that tie. Number two, I'm glad I still don't have that hair. How old is that?
Oh my goodness, that was 2001.
I've been doing City Corner, I think, about 15 years, right?
Yes.
So that was right in the beginning.
You started in 2000, and that was in 2001, that particular episode.
Let's give a shout out to our graphics people, because we've come a long way.
Oh my goodness, that is funny. That is funny, but you know, it's interesting to see how things have changed, how we've changed as well.
When I started here, we were TV 10, right? No,
actually,
City 16.
Yeah, you know, the first...
I'm getting mixed up.
When we first started, we didn't have an identity. We were just a communication division. Then we became Channel 16. Then we went to City 16. Then City TV 10.
Right.
And now STL TV.
STL TV.
Yeah.
Wow, celebrating 24 years.
Yes, yes. And it's, like I said, it's hard to believe, but... it's really been outstanding to have the chance to work with so many different people. You know, being the first to produce the Spanish show, Ahora San Luis,
right.
Our Bosnian show, Vazra, which is now Ovda Sada. You know, and those things make a big difference, and to know that we're part of history, because no one else was doing that. You know, so we have. Really stepped out to make sure we reached out to the community, the entire St. Louis community.
Why don't you say something about our communications commissioner, because she has to keep us under control. Oh, that's no easy job.
No. She knows how to wrangle us in, but no, Donna Brooks Sanders has done an outstanding job, and you know, she actually came here in 2000, which I think one of the first things that Donna worked out was our deal with ABC 30 to get City Corner on ABC 30, which started in 2001.
That's the show, right?
Yes.
30 uses it as their public affairs program.
Yes, yes. And so when they lost their news department and they needed to fulfill their obligation for public affairs, they asked us if we would provide them with City Corner. So.
In all seriousness, though, and I do appreciate you showing that clip. I have to tell you, in all seriousness, that I've so enjoyed hosting City Corner over the years, because I really love St. Louis too, and it's given me an opportunity to interview the most interesting people that are connected to the city in all different ways.
Yes.
And so it's been a labor of love for me, and I just want to say thanks.
No problem. And you've done an outstanding job, Steve. Seriously. I mean, I'm just really thankful that you've been one of the hosts that have stayed with us, and you know, it's great to be able to have a face that the viewers can say, oh, that guy's been there for quite a while.
It's good to have a face with less hair than what we saw earlier.
And this is the longest running show that we've had here at STL TV.
And you're not giving me direct credit for that, are you?
Possibly. Possibly. No, you've done an outstanding job. And you know, some of the other hosts, Cassandra Walker and Ivy Hartman, who hosted Best of the STL, which was, I guess it's the second longest running show that we had here. We just stopped 2 years ago, but you know, it's really a testament to the staff, because when you have a good, strong staff and you can lose people but be able to fill people in that gap and keep things rolling, it makes a big difference.
We've been doing a show now, STL Presents. Is it 2 years old?
It's going on 3.
Yeah, I've been hosting last year, so with Debbie Monterey from KMOX, and that's been a lot of fun too.
Yes, April Trupiano and Rob Desir started off hosting it, and so I think that was the transition. we wanted to keep that show rolling, and we were like, we had to find the right host for it, because that's the tough part sometimes, just finding the right people to keep a show going and having the right chemistry between 2 or 3 hosts.
And who decides that? Is it you and Donna in a dark room, smoky room?
I usually make the decision. She'll let me know if my decision wasn't a good one. But for the most part, I basically tell her, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's roll with it or whatever. So, but for the most part, we've been pretty good about choosing which host we need for which show. So, this one has worked out pretty well.
So we'll take it a day at a time, right?
Yes, and one of the things that I wanted to bring up was. We had a show or produced a program called the JFL Monday Night Football Games.
Right.
And one of the things that we really wanted to do here at STL TV was reach out to the kids and make them feel, some support. And it was outstanding. It was actually an Emmy-nominated program where we actually had a chance to just take some of the teams from Herbert Hoover, City Recreation, Matthews Dickey, U City, Kirkwood, and be able to showcase those kids playing football. And it was interesting because one of the kids that we actually featured, I guess probably almost like 8 years ago, Ezekiel Elliott, he is now the Heisman runner-up probably in NCAA football. And so just to see, like, man, a little kid that we were taping when he was, 9 or 10 years old is now playing for Ohio State University and one of the big stars. So it's just.
So he owes his career to us.
He owes us.
That's what I thought.
We actually put him in the limelight first, and he's done an outstanding job. So those are just the things that it just really feels good to see us be a part of some things that have really taken off.
Do you bring any other clips or anything we might want to see? Or?
Oh, well, one of the things that I think we talked about, Best of the STL, and we just talked about JFL, but we also have like Staying Fit, one of our programs that we actually did probably almost 2 years ago.
Was that Cindy?
Cindy Brennicky,
yeah.
She hosted one of those shows, and then also we had Brian K. Mitchell. But they do boot camps, and I'm telling you, one of the shows has had over 500,000 views.
Wow.
On our YouTube channel. And
people working out.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And I think people are basically tuning in, or they actually go to our YouTube and they just put it on their computer and work out with it. So, we try to do a little bit of everything with our program and not just to focus on government. There's so many things that people need to keep moving,
right.
to keep going.
I've done a couple other shows while I've been here. Now, City Corner is the one I've done for 15 years consistently, but I was trying to think of the other things that I've done here. And there was a Neighbor to Neighbor, City Life.
Oh, City Life,
Neighbor to Neighbor. Right.
Yes.
I did that. I did a part of that for a while. I didn't host it, but I did a segment. I did a little news link segment, which was a minute news drop.
Yes.
But the one I remember the most, because my friends would give me a hard time, I don't know how long I hosted. Was it a year or two? It was called How's Your Mental Health?
Oh, yes.
And my friends, I guess they're just giving me a hard time. They always thought it was funny I was the host. They said, how's your mental health? You should be a guest.
Yes, that was, oh my goodness. St. Louis Mental Health Board, we actually produced that. We produced that program for them, and that was Don Cuvo. It really turned out to be a good project, almost a client project for us, but we really enjoyed doing that. One of the things that I always tell people is that, working within city government, we have to work for a variety of city departments. And we try to showcase those departments and what they do for the city of St. Louis. And one of the programs was Hard at Work that we did on a regular basis, where we could feature different departments. And this gives residents a chance to be able to see what each department actually does and how they provide services for the residents of the city. And
I would think that, say, our members of our Board of Aldermen would find a resource like this really useful to help them get their message out about what's happening in their ward or issues that they're, concerned about. Yeah, In Your Ward is another program that has really had an impact on the community, because it obviously gives the residents a chance to see those elected officials who represent them. And so In Your Ward basically just takes you inside that ward and lets you meet that alderman and
and they tell about their challenges and what things they're working with, that they're working on to improve. And you know, it's been a great program. The staff has worked tremendously hard. Kara Savio, Todd Blackstock, the aldermen usually come to us and say, man, we really appreciate it. You know, the residents in my community, in my ward, have really said they've enjoyed learning more about what's going on. So that's what it's about, informing the community.
Do you remember any of the shows that aren't on anymore?
Oh, wow. What about City Edition?
That rings a bell.
Yes, that was we really did like a full newscast with 2 anchors, and Kara Savio was one of them. That was before you got here, though. That was like 90.
Well, what I think is interesting about what you do here, what we do here, is, you know, we were using the public station analogy earlier, is that, and this is something viewers probably maybe don't realize when they're watching, is all the work that goes into a show. You were talking about some of the people behind the cameras.
Right.
All of those people and production people and just the manpower it takes to put on a show like this.
Yeah, and you know, we've basically taken on more responsibilities over the last year and a half, because we've taken on the responsibility of covering more committee meetings for the Board of Aldermen, just so we can document those things and put them on YouTube for the residents to be able to find out about anything that's going on down at City Hall.
Now that you bring that up, since a lot of people that might see this show might be watching it on ABC 30,
Yes.
may not be familiar with us otherwise, maybe you should just talk a little bit about the best way to access our station and watch the programs, whether it's the YouTube channel or watching on Charter or whatever it is.
Yes, so one of the things that I always stress to people is that we try to make ourselves, the channel or our programming, available across all platforms. So you can watch us on Charter Cable on 992, or you can watch us on AT&T U-Verse on Channel 99, look for St. Louis Television, or you can actually find us on YouTube, where we actually put all of our programs. There's a City of St. Louis channel, then there's also a STL TV channel.
So I don't know. Can you look ahead in your crystal ball? Do you have any plans? Like, am I getting another show? Or do you want me to change?
I don't see that in my future.
Do you want me to change my hair? What can I do, Andre?
Well, I will only tell you that we're going to continue to try to provide the very best that we can with the help of you and all the great talent that we have here. But all the staff members, from Jay Hollinger, the production supervisor, John Richter, and all the interns that we have here, but all the performance employees, I think, you know, it's one of those things where we always continue to strive to be able to provide more and more content and better programming for the City of St. Louis.
And if there's some young person interested in internship, maybe they should look us up and come see you, or
yes, give me a call.
Put in an application or something.
Give me a call, 314-552-2988.
And that'll probably come up, and there it is. Andre Holman, thank you so much. I've had so much fun here the last 15 years. I appreciate all the freedom and that you've given me to let me do my thing. And happy 24th anniversary to everybody here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
And thank you at home for watching. Hope you come back and see us again, and check us out on YouTube, and go to STLTV.net.
Yes.
Take a look at that. Thanks a lot. See you next time.